Hi guys, Daz here with another episode of my weekly Newsround series, and this time it is episode 10. A ton of news to get through as always. Now, there are going to be spoilers, so be warned. But there is some pretty cool info in here that I haven't showcased in my comic book alerts. Now, as you've seen, I've passed 50 comic book alerts now, so they won't be included in any of my weekly news rounds. You'll have to check them out for some really key comic books to look out for. But like I said, a ton of news to get through. Let's get into it. 48 Hours actor Nick Nolte. Yeah, he's looking a bit rough these days, isn't he? But he's joined the cast of Disney's Star Wars TV show The Mandalorian. That's pretty exciting. He starred in a couple of films that I've really enjoyed. One was definitely The Warrior, starring Tom Hardy. That was fantastic about MMA fighting, cage fighting. And he played Bruce Banner's dad, didn't he? Was it Brian Banner in one of the Hulk films, where Eric Banner played the Hulk? Daredevil. Yeah, as we know, it's been cancelled, hasn't it, on Netflix, which I am very sad about. There are meant to be plans for the character down the line, but a lot of us were speculating that was going to be on the Disney streaming service, Disney Plus, but that is not going to be the case. So wherever they intend to use him, he's not going to be on the Disney Channel. Same goes with Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Now, what I do know is that viewing figures are dramatically decreased, which I am very surprised about, because for me, Daredevil season 3 was the strongest of the seasons. It started a little bit slow, but like I say, with the inclusion of the new Bullseye, Benjamin Poindexter, and Kingpin as ferocious as ever, it was fantastic. Brilliant storytelling. The acting was superb. The action, wow, just wow. I've just been reading a little bit of a rumour whether Daredevil will appear in the Black Widow movie. That would be epic, wouldn't it? To see the transition from small screen to the big screen. But you never know. Stranger things. I'm just hoping that my favourite show, Jessica Jones, isn't going to be the next for the chop. Apparently they have just started filming season 3. Apparently The Power Broker, which appeared in one of the Machine Men books. Is it Machine Man issue 6? Don't quote me on that, but he's going to be the new villain by all accounts. And of course that leaves The Punisher. Now season 2 has been filmed of that. I've got a feeling season 2 of The Punisher will be the last we see of Marvel on Netflix in their little universe. So it is what it is. I am pretty sad about it. AMC's Preacher has been renewed for a 4th season and will begin filming in early 2019 in Australia. Now, I've bought season 1 of The Preacher, and I recently picked up the issue 1 of Preacher. Got a good price, I think about 70 quid at a local con. I've been told by various sources that the series is very, very different from the comics. Now, Preacher is okay, but it is so wacky, the TV series. It's hard to follow at times. It is really far-fetched and really out there. But like I say, apparently Jesse is not such a nasty character in the comics, and he goes about his work almost quietly. He's very loudmouthed in the TV show, isn't he? So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Preacher series. Like I said, I've had it months now, season 1, and I am still struggling to get through it. I will watch it, but man, it is a tough watch. I think one of the very first comics I ever picked up for 50p, I think, was Preacher number 2, First Arseface. He does look pretty cool in the series. Yvette Monreal and James Barker have been cast in undisclosed regular roles for DC Universe's Stargirl. Now we don't know too much about Stargirl, and the names of the actors' characters have not been, like I say, disclosed yet. But they are DC characters and they are known to us, so that's exciting. Now, there is supposedly meant to be a big element of the Justice Society in that Stargirl series, so look out for that. Captain America's Civil War's Daniel Bruhl, he played the main villain, Zemo. And Game of Thrones' Charles Dance, the old veteran. I liked him in the playing a vampire in Dracula Untold. Well, they've been cast in 20th Century Fox's third Kingsman film. That's good. I mean, I do enjoy the Kingsman films, but I find it a little strange that Taron Egerton is not going to be in the third one. You could do with it after the bomb that is Robin Hood at the moment. Crikey, I think it's taken the lowest amount of money for a major release of 2018. Well, additionally, Amazing Spider-Man's Rhys Ifan, who played Lizard in the Amazing Spider-Man #1, he and Watchmen's Matthew Good are also in talks for the threequel. Harley Quinn is always big in the DC universe. Margot Robbie wants to add the Poison Ivy to their universe. She is trying to come up with some kind of script that involves her. Now, as we know, the Birds of Prey film is now titled The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which is just baffling. Why? It seems just to be all about Harley Quinn, and I don't want it all about Harley Quinn. But yeah, Margot Robbie touches on, of course, there is quite a sensual relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. It's just all about somehow conveying that. But yeah, to see Poison Ivy on the big screen would be fantastic. I met the actress who played Poison Ivy recently in Gotham. Nice lady. Star Wars and Howard the Duck co-writer Gloria Katz died on Sunday, November the 25th, 2018, at the age of 79 due to ovarian cancer. She also did work on American Graffiti. Isn't that a good body of work, isn't it? Star Wars, Howard the Duck, American Graffiti. Or George Lucas sort of projects there. Now, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is being named Best Animated Film of the Year by the New York Film Critics Circle. And it's beat off Dr. Seuss's The Grinch, Incredibles 2, Teen Titans Go, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. So, yeah, early reviews say this is the best Spider-Man film ever made, which I find hard to believe. I mean, don't get me wrong, animation looks great and that, but it does look a little bit, I don't know, aimed at younger audiences. I'm very excited to see Nicolas Cage, because like I've said before, I've got the first Spider-Man Noir, and he's portraying Spider-Man Noir. But Peter Porker, I don't know. For me, the best Spider-Man film was Spider-Man 2, the original one, with Tobey Maguire. I thought Doc Ock was a fantastic villain. Really was the best film for me. Now, Alcon Television Group, a division of Alcon Entertainment, has partnered with Adult Swim to distribute a new anime series inspired by the critically acclaimed Oscar-winning movie Blade Runner 2049. Now, I saw Blade Runner, the original, obviously, a long time ago, and it's vague still in my mind. I can remember parts of it. I remember Rutger Hauer being a pretty mean villain. And it was cinematically, it was beautiful, and so was Blade Runner 2049. But there are moments in that where it does drag these Blade Runner films. There's not enough action. That's my issue with it. Well, like I say, the Blade Runner animated series is going to be called Blade Runner Black Lotus, and will feature 13 30-minute episodes produced by Animation Studios Solo Digital Arts, and they did Ultraman apparently. Back to Star Wars. Disney and Lucasfilm have announced Star Wars Galaxy Stories, a series of kid-focused animation shorts depicting iconic movies throughout the Star Wars saga. And that is going to launch on StarWarsKids.com and on Star Wars Kids YouTube. The first 6 shorts will debut. Well, I think the first one is just debuted at the end of November, and then they're continuing through December and into the new year. The Russo brothers, of course, they've just wrapped up basically Avengers the next Avengers that we can't wait to see. Now, they've just confirmed that Joe Russo has confirmed that Chris Evans is not done playing Captain America. That's interesting. That's really interesting because I thought there were two rumored titles for the new Avengers. One was Annihilation, and the other one was The Last Avenger. Now, for me, Last Avenger works better because, by all accounts, what I was reading, Chris Evans is probably going to die as Captain America. And Chris Evans has basically come out and said, like, thanks for everything, and basically saying he's done with the role, but not according to Joe Russo. So it looks like Captain America is going to survive the next Avengers. Maybe it is Iron Man who's going to bite the dust. I'm sure one of these main ones are going to meet their maker. Now, more MCU. Young Carol Danvers actress McKenna Grace. She starred in the film The Gifted with Chris Evans, funnily enough. Now she is just been cast to play another young character, and that is young Sabrina Spellman in the upcoming Chilling Adventures of Sabrina holiday special. This girl can act, trust me. She played a brain box in that Gifted movie, and she did it very well. Now, CW has announced plans to create a new superhero show called Super Clean. And the TV series is going to focus on people that clean up after superheroes. So basically, DC's version of Damage Control, I guess. And this is based on an upcoming graphic novel. So look out for this graphic novel called Super Clean, because there is going to be a TV show based on it. Yeah, I mean, there was like I say, a DC sort of almost comedy show, wasn't there? Called, was it Powers? Oh, Powerless, I think, wasn't it? Starring the girl out of High School Musical, Vanessa Hudgens. I'm still waiting to see that. I picked up the first appearance of Crimson Fox, and apparently Crimson Fox is in that show. Adam West also cameoed in it. Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper owners Rebellion have made $100 million investment in their own studio. So we are, by all accounts, going to get a lot of Judge Dredd, whether it be movies or shows, and Rogue Trooper. I know that's got a massive fan base. I was never the biggest Judge Dredd fan. I did like Stallone's portrayal, more so than probably the latest one with Carl Urban. But that's because I'm a Stallone fan. Talking of Stallone, I saw Creed 2 in the week. Oh, wow. Wow, what a movie. Yeah. You know, the first 5-10 minutes, the opening shot's fantastic. But the first 5-10 minutes, I thought, well, this ain't maybe as good as I thought it was. But, oh, my days. As it progressed, the fight scenes are brutal. Dolph Lundgren is just fantastic in it. And his son. I'd love to... There was talks that maybe they're going to get their own little movie at some point. I thought they were brilliant in it. Now, the Scarlet Witch TV series, I picked up a book the other day called The Vision and the Scarlet Witch. Now, that was series 2. I know where series 1 is, so I'm going to hopefully get that as well. Well, the upcoming live action show is going to be called The Vision and Scarlet Witch. So I think those books are going to be great spec books. They're only cheap. You can still find them cheap, $10 and under, so look out for them. It's funny how I find myself talking in dollars when I'm English. I stayed up watching American football last night. Don't want to talk about it. More of my Steelers doing. Right. Aquaman's Jason Momoa. Well, he was recently in London at the Forbidden Planet comic book store signing free merchandise to do with the movie, you know, and comics, along with James Wan. I've met Jason Momoa. He is a big guy. I think I got his autograph for about 20 quid. You're not going to get that anymore with this film coming out, because by all accounts it is going to be really putting the DCU on the map, which is great. It's about time. I'm very excited to see some underwater pals. Well, Aquaman's Jason Momoa is scheduled to host December the 8th, Saturday Night Live on NBC. And you know that Jason Momoa, before getting the Aquaman role, he actually auditioned to become Batman. Can you imagine Momoa as Batman? I can't really, but then again, I couldn't have imagined him as Aquaman. And I do like the look of him now, especially now he's got his older. There's a scene where he wears his orange, isn't it, like in the old comics? Orange top. Now, not long after 2012's Avengers film, the very first Avengers film, director Guillermo del Toro, who was famous for Hellboy, well, he wrote a pilot for a Hulk TV series for ABC, but it never took off. But he still has a lot of regrets about not making that. That would have been great, because I do like. I can't even think of the guy who plays the Hulk now. It'll come to me in a minute, but he is really good as a Banner. Now, Guillermo del Toro has wrote various scripts over the last couple of years. The other one he made was Justice League Dark, but that didn't obviously get greenlit. Because that's another one I'd love to see, Justice League Dark. I want to see Demon. That's who I want to see in the DCU, Demon. And Deadman. Great characters. Swamp Thing, team them all up. Now, here's a bit of breaking news. By all accounts, there is going to be a new Captain Marvel trailer tonight. Now, I've stayed away from the teaser, but this is going to be a big one tonight, apparently, so look out for that. There's also rumoured talk that the Avengers 4 trailer is going to break either tonight or perhaps Wednesday. So look out for that. Exciting times in the MCU. Talking of MCU, Jane Foster has just been announced that she survived Thanos' click. I'm not sure how happy I am about that. But I'm glad, apparently, because also Darcy, her assistant, survived. She was okay. And Dr. Selvig, yeah. Apparently, I think he may have a pretty major role in the new upcoming Avengers film. Maybe coming up with some way to defeat Thanos. Tobias Whale actor Marvin Crandon Jones III. He's come out and confirmed, here's another spoiler for you, that he is going to be voicing in the upcoming Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Tombstone. Yeah, I've got the first appearance of Tombstone. He's in a Web of Spider-Man comic. Yeah. I do like the character Tombstone. I suppose he's their version, Marvel's version of Solomon Grundy. Now, Once Upon a Deadpool, that's coming out to the cinema, and it's obviously going to be kid-friendly by all accounts, so you can take your children along. I am unsure whether I'm going to take my eldest boy, Ethan, at the moment, because I don't know how it's going to be parental-wise, but if it is meant to be toned down a lot, and apparently there is 20 minutes of new footage to be shown in that, so that's exciting. Now, King Shark, the character King Shark, first appeared in Superboy Zero from 1991 or something like that, I think. Well, in the early Suicide Squad script, he was going to be in the Suicide Squad movie instead of Killer Croc. Yeah. And this is the concept art that they were going to use. So he was basically going to be like a hammerhead shark. So King Shark was originally going to be in the Suicide Squad movie. Now, don't get me wrong, the Suicide Squad film wasn't the best, was it? To me, it's about a 6.5. And that's because I like some of the characters. Captain Boomerang, I thought, was fantastic in it. But that film still went on to make $750 million at the box office, despite a 27% Rotten Tomatoes rating. And the information that I find really interesting was, did you know the Suicide Squad movie won an Oscar? I didn't know that. And I'm pretty clued up on my movies. Must have been for like cinematic, I suppose, but surely there's better films for that. This is interesting. This has got me excited because I like these kind of films and TV series. Skybound Entertainment and E1 announced a few days ago a new partnership and produced and distribute. Skybound Entertainment and E1 have announced a new partnership to finance and produce and distribute 5-year, a pre-apocalyptic concept from Robert Kirkman. Yes, Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead and Die. This is an original idea from idea from Robert Kirkman, and the premise is basically 5 years is a different series. We'll have lots of different series, and we'll focus on how people across the globe choose to live after learning their world would end in the next 5 years as a meteor rushes towards Earth. So that sounds really interesting to me. Each year will play out as a season. And each version of 5 Year will be localized story set in different countries, and each location will use their own language. So basically, you'll have a series set in England, for instance, or we'll be speaking English, and then there'll be a series set in India, and India will be using their own language, Indians, and each series will have their own unique characters and stories, but they will all follow the same time scale. So that's really interesting concept. I love these survival films like Armageddon and Deep Impact and films like that. So that's right up my street. And Robert Kirkman really doesn't do a lot wrong, does he? What else we got? Venom. Well, that's coming to Blu-ray and DVD on December the 18th. And that film's taken a staggering 822 million worldwide to date. And it's outgained all Spider-Man films so far, including Homecoming, which is mind-blowing. Like I said, it's not as bad as people make out. Go and see it. And included in the DVD and Blu-ray set is a whole host of additional deleted scenes, and one of those includes extended prison scenes from the post credits. So whether that includes a bit more Woody Harrelson as Carnage remains to be seen. But I am very excited for Venom 2 and Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Massive Woody Harrelson fan. Sony has hired director Justin Tipping to helm its planned Harbinger film. Of course, Harbinger from Valiant Comics. But Tipping's sole feature, Kicks, was released in 2016. So the guy's only made one film prior. That's a big film to be taken on, I guess. Of course, we're getting Bloodshot soon with Van Diesel, aren't we, from Valiant? Now, writer, director and producer Ava Duvernay has signed a multi-year and multi-genre TV deal with Warner Brothers. And she's also, she's currently directing New Gods for the DCU, the New Gods movie. I am so excited for that. That film could really set the mark for DC. You think of all those fourth worlds we got obviously Darkseid and all the New Gods. We got Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. The list is endless. Yeah, I love those comics. Forever People, New Gods, Mr. Miracle. Fantastic. So obviously they see a lot of potential in this woman, and remains to be seen how good it is going to be. Back to the Russo brothers. They would love to work on a Star Wars movie. I would love to see them on a Star Wars movie. For me, Infinity War is one of the best films I've ever seen. Plain and simple. I'd like to see them do something perhaps like Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah. Imagine seeing an army of Jedi versus an army of Sith back in the day. Yoda be there, wouldn't he? Yeah, I love it. Tom Hanks, he's in talks to join Disney's Pinocchio. There's a lot of these live action Disneys coming at the moment. We've got Dumbo, and of course we've got Lion King. Well, Pinocchio's the next one. Back to Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. Chris Pine, he has a vital cameo in it by all accounts. Of course, he is Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman. We're going to see him again in Wonder Woman 1984. Avengers Infinity War. Like I said, I've just said, it's one of my favourite all-time films. But it was almost narrated by Thanos himself. Yeah. So we'd have got additional dialogue from Thanos as he talks us through the film. That would have been really cool. John Barrowman. Yeah, he's a celebrity. Get Me Out of Here in the UK at the moment, over in a jungle. It's like a reality show with celebrities stuck in a jungle. When he plays Malcolm Merlyn in the Arrowverse. Well, he's returning. Although he was supposedly killed which I thought was a lame death for him in the jungle, because he was such a good character as Malcolm Merlyn. Well, he is returning for the Arrowverse in the CW Elseworlds crossover as a police officer. Now, talking of the Elseworlds, they're going to, at the end, there's a new trailer out that shows a lot of the DC heroes that are dead now. And they're using characters not just from the Arrowverse. I think there may be some Smallville characters turning up. I know they're using some characters from 1990s Flash. That's really good. Wesley Shipp's obviously going to be back as the Flash in his old muscle suit, which is awesome. But apparently Captain Cold from the 1990s is going to be one of the dead characters. So that's interesting. Now, I met this actor, young actor, David Mazouz, I think it's pronounced. And he plays Bruce Wayne in Gotham. And he is fantastic in the role. Like I said, I met him. He did me a little bat sketch. And I also met Sean Pertwee, who played Alfred. And the chemistry they have on screen is fantastic. One of the best chemistry there is. Gotham is a fantastic show. The four characters I like the most is probably Alfred and young Bruce. And I like Riddler and Penguin, their chemistry as well. I met Riddler as well. He's a good guy too. Well, like I say, David, who plays Bruce, he penned an emotional tribute to Sean Pertwee, and I read it, and it was real nice because he is a top performer, Sean Pertwee. Of course, his dad played Doctor Who, one of the Doctor Who's, John Pertwee, and Sean Pertwee replied and he said, I am so proud of you, basically, and I am now officially crying. So, yeah, it was quite emotional. Yeah, like I said, what else we got? Just a bit of comic news to finish up. And that is that Tom King, I know JPL Flash is a big Booster Gold fan. Well, Tom King has teased that Blue Beetle and Booster Gold will soon be having a long-awaited reunion in the Heroes in Crisis series. So look out for that. And finally, the third Millar World comic book series from Mark Millar in association with Netflix and Image Comics has been announced. And that is coming in February. So look out for this book. It's called Sharky the Bounty Hunter. And it's basically a sci-fi comedy where Sharky and a 10-year-old boy travel the stars in a rocket-powered ice cream truck. That is going to be on Netflix in some form or another, probably animated. So look out for that. And the comic is coming in February. That's Daz. I've just had a crazy week. I've been picking up a load of subscribers, which is pretty awesome. And thank you so much to everybody. I'm now at 524. Wow, going up and up and up. Like I say, probably within the next week or so, I am going to be getting up a competition to mark my 500 to stroke 600 competition. Because I like to push on to 600 with your help. If you like what you see, subscribe. Ding the bell, get my notifications, because there's always a ton of info coming. Stay tuned as well, because later on today, one of my most popular segments is the week's top 10 selling comic books. And I've got quite a few this time. Take care, guys. That's over and out. Bye for now.